In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at these current conditions. We're going to be also taking a look at the upcoming pattern because things look really interesting. Let's just get straight into things though, and first things first, we are taking a look at those current conditions, and as you can see, there's an explosion of monsoon storminess happening here in all directions, actually, just really exploding in this area. And this has been taking place for a couple of days, but this is the most intense look we've seen from this in just a couple of days that we've been seeing this. There is also some storminess extended out from this around Kansas and Missouri especially, but also some surrounding states as well. We're seeing some of that storminess. There's a couple showers up here in the northwest that I'm seeing. And outside of that, we're really seeing some showery activity down here in the northeastern United States, and that is stretching offshore of even the mid-Atlantic and the southeast of the United States as well. But it is offshore, like I mentioned. And then we have some isolated activity near the Gulf of Mexico, and that's kind of something we always have taking place. Now, what we're going to do is zoom into these different regions and just take a look here because we have the showery activity areas up here in the northwest. Very minor. We're seeing just very light sprinkles just to the east of I-5 there. Also near I-15 here in Montana, there is some showers that have been trying to pop up there. We see those at times, but really it's not taking place. So we're maybe seeing a sprinkle, if anything. Now, I just saw something very interesting. I don't know if you guys caught that, but there was a severe thunderstorm warning in California, which does not happen every single day, to say the least. Now, we do have some thunderstorms here, it looks like, near I-5 there in California, to the north of Bakersfield, even to the east of Bakersfield, and even maybe hitting Bakersfield there to the north of Los Angeles. And then there's some showers here well to the west in California and even portions of southern Nevada, portions of Arizona. Really interesting. You don't see this every day, but thunderstorms developing really awfully close to Los Angeles, even one hitting Los Angeles there. I wonder how many days Los Angeles sees thunderstorms in a year. If anybody knows the answer to that, let me know because I'm very curious. How many thunderstorms on average does Los Angeles see? Because I know it doesn't even rain very often, so let alone thunderstorms would be a quite rare occurrence. But it looks like they did have one this morning around 6, 7 a.m., even earlier for them, obviously. So yeah, super interesting thunderstorms in Southern California taking place. Showers for Arizona, showers for New Mexico, and even Southern Utah seeing some of those. And then New Mexico here, we're seeing very heavy showers exploding near Albuquerque in areas north and south of Albuquerque. Really just all over the place. We're seeing these yellows and oranges pop up. So obviously these are not thunderstorms, but they are very heavy showers. And when you see hours of this yellow area, you can start to get flooding, especially if it's the desert, which in this case, obviously, it is. So, for the plains, let's move on. We see these showers and thunderstorms around here for especially Kansas, but also Colorado, Oklahoma, Missouri, Iowa, Illinois. But near Kansas City here is where we're seeing the worst of these. So kind of this corridor where we're seeing these thunderstorms explode to the south of Kansas City. And this will bring, obviously, some potential severe weather, thunder, wind, even a little bit of hail can't be ruled out. We're going to go over the severe weather at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that, where we'll go over all the probabilities, just, what chance of severe weather do you have, things like that. We'll take a look at that at the end of the video, but for now, if you're under a thunderstorm, obviously, you're expecting thunderstorms, because there's one over you. Let's see, what else have I missed? We'll go here first. So, for the northeast, we are seeing these showers actually take place over land. So for areas of Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and even Long Island there in New York, we're seeing these showers around. And once they're reaching the coast here of Connecticut and Rhode Island, it looks like those storms are redeveloping. So we're seeing these storms really become more persistent down there. We're seeing this pocket of heavier showers, maybe even thunderstorms there, move through northern New York, in through Vermont, and even New Hampshire is going to start to get impacted more and more from these. So don't be surprised if you wake up to a bit of a rainy morning there. It does look like behind it, it will pretty much move out and be all said and done. So you could start to see things clear up a little bit later. Now these are very close to the coast for some spots in here, even hitting the Outer Banks, it looks like a little bit there. We're going to see thunderstorms roll through this region later today, this evening, so be on the lookout for that. We'll take a look at that on the model guidance in a little bit. Now, last but not least, for the Gulf of Mexico, we do see just some sporadic isolated thunderstorm activity around for all of these areas. This is very common, and probably we've seen this every single day for like a week at least. And this time of year, this is just how it goes. Isolated thunderstorms all over the place. All right, now what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at that modeled guidance. All right, now here we are taking a look at that modeled guidance. Let's just take this towards this afternoon. And as you can see, we're going to see storms begin to develop here for the Ohio Valley and the northeastern and mid-Atlantic United States, like I mentioned before. So we start to see this really build in this afternoon / evening time today on Wednesday, the 22nd. This monsoon continues to just prevail here. And then we see these showers continuing up here in the northwest. Let's continue this on towards Thursday afternoon, and we'll see there's still some showery and thunderstorm activity along the eastern United States. Still that monsoon ongoing, and that's basically all there is to speak of. Friday, we do see that this is starting to come to an end there. We do see showers continuing for the Four Corner states, but really it's not what it once was. The eastern United States still seeing that chance at storms on Friday, June 24th. Some storms over the plains as well for Iowa and Missouri. Let's just continue this on towards Saturday. And on Saturday, we get this interesting low up here in Canada, and this creates a bit of a front stretching down, and we see that the cold air is kind of coming in behind. This is a pretty key indication that this is a cold front. So we can expect warmer temperatures. We already knew this, but we can expect really warm temperatures out ahead of this with those tropical thunderstorms potential for the southeast. Sunday, let's see. We see this continue on. Thunderstorms down here, but we really see this cold front extending down like this. It's more dry over here, so we're not seeing anything along it. But for this area, we are seeing storminess. Ohio Valley northeast is going to be by Sunday the 26th. And then let's see, by Monday the 27th, it is approaching the eastern United States here. We see for New England and the northeast, it's much closer to the coast. And for the southeast, it is approaching the coast there as well. That's going to hit at some point overnight. This is at about 6 a.m. on Tuesday, the 28th there. You can see the cold front is arriving in the southeast, and it really dives down by that evening, Wednesday evening. That's going to be the 29th for the southeast. Then by the time we reach about Thursday afternoon here, we see these thunderstorms kind of continue here for the southeast. This seems to be a daily occurrence now. Kind of the northeast and the upper Midwest seeing some thunderstorms, but awfully quiet outside of that, honestly. And then we start to see more activity by Friday and Saturday time frame. So we're seeing tons of activity just in the northeast, north central, and the northwest. I guess I should have just said the northern United States. And then for the southeast, we're still seeing some of those thunderstorms as well. So really at the end of these model runs, what I've noticed is the model tends to not really show any prominent features. But once we get close to these events, usually there's a lot more going on than what the model had anticipated. It just can't really figure out what is going to be taking place, if that makes sense. It doesn't, it's not necessarily meaning that there's going to be nothing taking place. It just doesn't know what will. And that's just how the summertime is. There's a lot of different features. It's much more smaller scale. Everything's much smaller scale. There's a lot more going on. Whereas in the wintertime, you might just see one giant low crossing the United States, and that's the one feature you're seeing, and everything's much slower and larger. The summertime is much faster. There's a bunch of moving pieces, and these models just don't handle that quite as well. Anyway, let's take a look at that total precipitation real quickly. And if you're anywhere in the whites, you're expecting no precipitation. Anywhere in the grays, we're expecting about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to 1 inch. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. And then your reds will be 2 to 5 inches of precipitation, as well as the browns, which will be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. Now for your total snowfall here, look at that, guys. Hardly anything, but if you're anywhere in the grays, you're expecting a dusting. If anything, blues will be 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Purples will be 6 to 10. This is for Canada, by the way. You guys up there. Your pinks are 10 to 20 inches, and then your pastels are 20 inches plus, because I do see some of that up there in Canada. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at that temperature forecast, and then we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. All right, now here is this temperature forecast. Let me just move it towards this afternoon. And what we see is there is some colder temperatures in the Four Corner states. You might be wondering, why is that? Well, it's because this area never sees rain or cloudiness hardly ever. So when they do, this causes the temperatures to be far below normal, because usually they're anticipating sunny, very, very hot conditions. So the rain, the cloudiness, everything like that cools it all down. Now, if you're in the upper Midwest, you're expecting about a, probably 30 to 40% chance of cloudiness and rainfall this time of year. So the models take that into consideration with your average temperature. So your average temperature is a little bit lower because it's considering that it could be cloudy and rainy, you know. So that brings it down a little bit. Usually when it's sunny, that means you will see above average temperatures just because it is taking, the cloudiness and the raininess drags that average a little bit down. Now, that's Wednesday. Let's move towards Thursday. And by Thursday, we can see that there is some cooler temperatures around here for the western United States and warmer temperatures overall in the eastern half of the nation. So we're seeing a lot of this taking place for, let's see. For Friday, we see colder temperatures here, mostly prevailing in the west. We see a lot of warmth here along the coast as well. And then we see a ton of warmth here overall for the central and the majority of the eastern United States as well. So it's pretty clear to me we're seeing a trough in the west, ridge in the east type pattern here. By Saturday, we could see what's happening is a ridge is developing in the west, and then we see this cold front developing along this, and then we're seeing that. So what's ending up happening is we see warm air shoving its way in, and then we see a cold front developing around here with a low up here. So that cold front is extending down like this, and that will stretch the cold temperatures into the warmer regions, potentially bringing some pretty bad thunderstorms with it as well. And by Sunday, we can see this is moving a little bit further eastward, probably right about here. And then by Monday, we see that cold front is probably at the coast just like this, trying to move through. So this is the look. We see a lot of warmth out in the west now, a little bit of an inverted trough there, with some colder temperatures able to make its way into here and also into here. So this is a pretty strong trough probably. Tuesday, we see a lot of these cold temperatures continuing. I'm sure that's due to a lot of cloudiness and storminess again. The eastern United States just had that cold front pass through, so we are seeing cooler temperatures there as well. Let's keep going. Wednesday, this is pretty interesting. I think the overall pattern looks like this to me. Mostly warmth underneath, really, so above normal temperatures for the most part. Let's go to Thursday. Yeah, this is all over the place. We see cold here, cold here, cold here, cold here, with a lot of warmth in between, kind of dodging all those areas. Very interesting. Let's see if we get anything prominent. No, this is all over the place, guys. Look at how messy this looks. This tells me that the model does not have a good handle on the upcoming pattern. I've mentioned this before. When it looks like a temperature pattern that you don't really see, that probably means that the model is really confused. And in this case, I think the model is very confused. So that means the pattern's going to get a little bit tricky coming up as we approach July. This model looks really iffy here. Let me see the last day that I feel confident in. I feel confident in Tuesday, the 28th. This looks relatively normal. We have a cold front that passes through. I feel like after the cold front, the model just does not know what really to anticipate there, because you notice everything looks really fluid, realistic here. We see troughs, we see ridges, and then here it just gets like really, really messy. So we're going to take that late pattern with a grain of salt. And only time we'll be able to tell, so be sure to tune in with us daily. We will get further updates and a better handle on this as time moves on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. All right, now here's day one on the Storm Prediction Center. If you're anywhere in the lighter green areas, you're expecting general thunderstorms. There is 4 of those areas, including California, where we saw those thunderstorms taking place. And you need to heed every watch, warning, and advisory still, because anything is possible. Keep that in mind as well. We have 3 marginal risk areas, 1 there for California, 1 for Oklahoma and Kansas, and then 1 there for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, as well as the Ohio Valley. That's where we expect isolated severe weather to take place. And then the yellow area there for the Northeast and the Ohio Valley, that is where we have a scattered area of severe weather expected. That's our slight risk region. And again, that's for today, Wednesday, June 22nd. For day 2 on Thursday, June 23rd, we have 1 very large general thunderstorm risk area encompassing probably 2/3 of the United States there. That's where we expect general thunderstorms, like I said. We have 3 marginal risk areas there in the darker green areas where we expect isolated severe weather to take place. And then the yellow area there for Kansas and Nebraska is where we have a slight risk at severe weather, and that is where we expect scattered severe weather to take place. For day 3, we have 2 general thunderstorm risks there, again, where we expect general thunderstorms. And then we have 1 marginal risk up there in the upper Midwest, and that is where we expect a marginal risk at severe weather, where we expect isolated severe weather to take place. Anyway, For today's confidence tab, we are at a 4 out of 6 still. I feel like the model gets really confused there in the longer range. So again, we're going to take that with a grain of salt. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Eagle, Lily Band, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Michael Alessa, Catbite, Charles Dennett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Steven Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.